Torrey Epps moves over to left tackle. He adjusts. Play fake. Harbaugh with some pressure. Brad Mustard chased by Brian Jordan and brought down, but he's got a first down out to the 28-yard line.
This is a wonderful job by Harbaugh in the pocket after the play fake. Knows he has Mustard out in the flat, but this is wonderful pressure by Tim Green. Good block by Neil Anderson. That allows Harbaugh to get the ball off to Mustard, and the Bears have their first down.
That's a gain of 17 yards. Mustard coming in with 20 catches. He and Neil Anderson have been the leading receivers for this ball control-oriented Chicago attack. The wide receivers, Davis has to kick into the wind. They wait at the 10-yard line. That will bounce at the 14. Dennis Gentry got some room. 38-yard line. Tackle made. Atlanta goes with the 4-down lineman. 1st and 10. Anderson is the motion man, leaving Mustard in the backfield. Harbaugh, short drop. Neil Anderson, right side. Missed tackle by Brian Jordan. And a first down, Chicago, across the 50 to the Atlanta 47.
This is a new part of Greg Landry's offense that he wants to exploit a little bit more. Is Neil Anderson single covered on the outside by a strong safety. There's the missed tackle by Jordan, and Anderson picks up a first down. But again, they come right
quarter. They give it inside to Mustard. And Brett, who had 78 yards in the ground last week to complement a 99-yard effort in Phoenix, is inside pressure, but he's a proven professional. 3rd down from the 45. Harbaugh, straight drop back. Here comes the pressure, and Harbaugh will run. First down, Chicago at the 36-yard line.
This is the added dimension that Harbaugh gives in offense. Makes his mind up right about now that he's got a wide open area, and he knows where the chains are. He's not one of those hook sliders either. He's going to go and get it.
Jim Harbaugh with a 5.2 yards per carry average. You see that on the right side, and 3 touchdowns on the ground already.
Yeah, and in that backfield of first-round draft picks, Neil Anderson has got the worst average at just 4.5 yards per carry.
1st and 10. 3-0 Atlanta leads it with 3:24 to go in the first quarter of play. Yeah, Bozo starts in motion. Play fake. Harbaugh will run. Chased by Scott Case.
And you wonder why Harbaugh is able to run and pick up yardage. The Falcons have been in man-to-man coverage the last 2 times, and this man here just isn't accounted for in the defense. Sometimes you'll keep...
2nd down. Mustard comes left. 1st down, and he picked those. Inside the 25 and out of bounds at the 21.
We may have to revise our scouting report on Brad Mustard. He's showing us a lot of nifty moves the last couple of weeks. Tiptoed down the sideline that time, picked up the first down.
Posted in the second half. A bit more of a struggle here in the first quarter of play. Harbaugh, straight drop back. Across the middle, caught. Inside the 15 of the 13-yard line. Wendell Davis makes the catch. Has been injured much of the year. Came back with 3 catches last week, but had a fumble. Mike Ditka said that was simply because he was trying to make a good play a great play.
Yeah, and
wide right. 95 seconds to go first half. Mustard up the middle. And that will be close for the first down at the 11. Sanders is the middleman of 3, and they wait for it near the 15-yard line, not expecting a deep kick at all. Deion Sanders will take this one at the 18. Watch out. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line, and Kevin Robin is. 2nd down. Fumble. Richard Dent. Bears ball.
Well, Dent's going to pick up his third fumble recovery of the year. And this is just a perfect snap and a drop ball by the quarterback. Then 270 pounds comes in, separates Miller from the ball, and the Bears get a turnover.
Down against, again, the four-man front of the Atlanta Falcons. Dimry follows Morris. Harbaugh looks into the flat for Mustard. Gets a good block from Bortz. And Muster is spilled at the 42.5-yard line. Ducks had a tough day yesterday. California 28, Oregon 3.
No comment.
Slip that in right quick. Ron Rivera asked me to mention that. Into the flat after the bobble, batted down by Richard Dent. Dent, who reached up and picked off a pass last week against Testaverde. And there goes an opportunity. Richard saw 6 in his dreams that time.
Wow, those dreams almost became a reality. Miller again dropped the snap. Watch how he'll bend down and pick this ball up. It's a nice hop back to him. Then he's trying to get rid of the ball. Dent is such a fine athlete that ball hit him right in the helmet, though. He's got to put some stickum on the front of that face mask.
Falcons are only 1 of 4 on third down conversions. And Chicago best in the league at third down defense. Blitz coming. Chris Miller down at the 19, first sack of the day. Richard Dent, his 8th quarterback sack of 1990.
Dent's number 95 working against Mike Ken. And with the blitz by Vesti Jackson, Ken has to take the most dangerous man. That is Jackson, because he's got the straightest shot at the quarterback. Dent comes free.
3-3 first down at the 45. Harbaugh with the snap from Hilgenberg. Falcons stunt with a 4-man front. James Robocop Thornton with some nifty moves. Leads out to the 41. The last week in Tampa. First down at the 41. 3-3 ball game. 7:51 to go in the half. Harbaugh drills it. Ron Morris hit by Brian Jordan at the 34-yard line. 2 linebackers up on the line for Atlanta. And Harbaugh on the waist down will throw it to Thornton, who was hit by Jordan, but not before he picks up the first down. Nice quick toss by Jim Harbaugh.
Well, what Harbaugh does here, Vern, is he goes to an audible. He watches the safeties move just a little bit. Short drop, knows that Thornton is his hot receiver, who makes a wonderful one-handed grab and picks up the first down for Chicago on the receiver's body.
On second down and 10, Harbaugh flushed out to the right, will run. Circles back left, and the chase is on. Deion Sanders will win that foot race, as he was the man getting chased to Harbaugh, and Harbaugh did the second base slide, but that's a 17-yard gain for Harbaugh.
Well, Harbaugh is going to increase his average per run here. Leading rusher on the day. He had a chance of going all the way here, but number 21, with all this speed, Sanders, comes up. He's going to take a shot at Harbaugh's head there. Harbaugh slides in very wisely and picks up another first down for the Bears.
First and 10. Ron Morris in motion. Here's the sweep by Anderson. Chase, dives, touchdown. What a run. Neil Anderson with his 10th rushing touchdown of 1990.
And they've been working on his hamstring on the sidelines. This is as good a run as you'll ever see for a touchdown. Watch Anderson on the sweep here. He's got Bortz coming out. He's got Muster leading him. But the defense makes a good play here. Another missed tackle by Brian Jordan. Watch the speed to the corner, and now the patented dive for the 6.
Go back and watch the effort of Neil Anderson on this sweep for the touchdown.
Well, and it's speed that makes the difference. Watch Brad Muster. He's going to try and block on John Rady here. He misses the block, but he forces Rady into a bad angle. The great speed of Anderson is going to cause Jordan to miss right here. Here's Rady on this angle trying to get Anderson out of bounds. Just can't get it done.
3rd and 10. Falcons would like to stifle Chicago here and have one more offensive opportunity. Harbaugh fires it short of the first down, so the Falcons were 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. 10-3 ball game. Miller is 4 out of 9 for a modest 37 yards. Oh boy, tipped away and picked off. And of all people, Lemuel Stinson. Stinson's 5th interception of the year. And Michael Haynes was open. And don't you know, Lemuel Stinson feels a huge load off his shoulders.
And he's looking for somebody to talk to. Nobody will get near him. Wonderful catch by Stinson, as he's got single coverage on the outside receiver. His 5th interception of the year. Miller throws a good ball, but Stinson gets a fine break on it, cuts to the inside, and one-hands it without gloves. Now he's looking to take it all the way. Somebody block for me.
And I think he was also looking at the Atlanta bench even while he was looking for blocking help. Lemuel Stinson, who said Deion Sanders is a nobody. That's what started all of the conversation this week. Sanders, by the way, picked up a phone and called Stinson. It took him 45 minutes to get into the Bear locker room on Thursday. And then Sanders and Risen started yelling, and I guess the 3 of them had quite a shouting match.
Yeah, I was surprised that Stinson accepted the charges, too.
1st and 10, Chicago. Round 1 goes to Lemuel Stinson. Anderson on the sweep. Bortz with the block, and Thayer out there as well. Jay Hilgenberg, the center, said yesterday Mark Bortz and Tom Thayer are having very good seasons.
And what a pleasure it is to play between them, because they make Hilgenberg's job so much easier. In fact, he told Bortz, remember, do my job first and then do your job and everything will be fine.
And Keith Van Horn and Jim Covert haven't had bad years either. This veteran Chicago offensive line. They have led the Bears to the league lead in yards gained per game on the ground. 2nd down. 1:14 to go. Dennis Gentry out of the backfield. 1st down, Chicago. They may want to think about using a timeout now. They will. So what a turnaround.
The fans are telling the Bears to hurry up, get on the ball.
3-man rush. They drop 8. The Falcons, that is. Harbaugh, left side. Wendell Davis in front of Charles Dimry. 1st down at the 34-yard line. 1 turnover for Chicago in the 1st half, 2 for Atlanta. Here comes the blitz. From the outside, Harbaugh hit as he lets it go. Caught. Wendell Davis beat Dimry. And again, the word beleaguered comes to mind when you think about Charles Dimry. A gain of 27.
And another word, maybe maturity, comes to mind when you talk about Jim Harbaugh. The blitz is coming. He's got one place to go with the ball, and that's outside to Davis. Throws a perfect pass. Davis shields off Dimry with his body, makes the grab, and the Bears are at the 7.
John Rady comes back in. 3rd and goal from the 8. A 10-3 lead by the Chicago Bears. 30 seconds to go before halftime. Short drop, fade pattern. Wendell Davis. What a grab! Oh, dandy!
A lot of people questioned the Bears front office when they drafted Wendell Davis, #1 back in '88. Maybe this is the reason why. Tight coverage, a total sellout by Davis. Beautiful grab, 6 points, Chicago.
Again, Tippen's getting into it with somebody. Look at it again.
Well, Harbaugh throws it to a spot in the corner of the end zone. Flat trajectory, and the coverage is there, but that is just an outstanding effort. One more try. And those sticky, tackified gloves, as they say on the package, may have been the difference here. But Harbaugh with the touch pass and a wonderful reception. Well, you know, and Butler's made a few tackles here today, so the Falcons are going to take out after him. But he holds his own there pretty well. Nice takedown there.
Harbaugh, 11 of 20 for 121 yards. One touchdown. Greg Davis will kick off. Bailey at the goal line. Got some room. Out to the 30-yard line. A 30-yard return, the tackle made by Ken Tippins. And a fight breaks out at the 50-yard line. James Rouse, number 30 for Chicago, and Robert Lyles, number 54, I think were the combatants.
And another hometown guy.
Right. Had his brother here watching the game today. Here's Harbaugh being chased out to the left. Pulls up, lets it go deep. Jordan's down there. And so is the receiver, Wendell Davis. A 47-yard gain.
At the beginning of this play, watch Harbaugh take it in the back from Marcus Cotton, number 51. That could have been called roughing the passer, but this is just an outstanding catch by Wendell Davis. Tight coverage by Jordan. Jordan looks for the ball too late. A little shove there by Davis. Keeps his eye on the ball, and the Bears have it again inside the 10-yard line.
Wendell Davis with a superb catch for a touchdown just before the end of the half. First and goal, Chicago. Harbaugh, short drop into the flat. Muster with a catch, and he's out of bounds down near the 2. I go back, Dan, to the point you were making about the criticism that the Bears received for drafting this man, number 1, Brad Muster, along with Wendell Davis, and yet you look at what Bill Tobin has done with his number 1 draft choices. They have really built a solid team.
And let's not forget the guy in the middle, Jim Harbaugh. How much criticism did Tobin and the Bears make or get when they made that draft pick? But these guys are starting to show the type of character that they have that attracted Tobin and Ditka to them in the
ground this year. Any doubt he might get it here? Or perhaps a play fake. Oh, well, he misspoke. They gave it to Brad Muster.
Well, that was your third choice, wasn't it, partner?
That shows why you're the analyst and I'm the talking dog.
Well, the big dog gets in for the Bears this time. Brad Muster straight up the middle. What you don't see is outstanding blocking by those 3 guys right in the center. Here they are, Borch, Hilgen, and Thayer. Huge hole there. Rady is too late to fill it, and the Bears have another touchdown. From the 5.
Play fake. Miller pulls up, fires, caught. Touchdown. Tracy Johnson. Well, he got denied the touchdown on the ground. He makes the touchdown catch in the pass. 24-10. Latter moments of quarter number 3. Harbaugh back. Cotton chases him. Harbaugh will run. And he's got another first down. Jim Harbaugh. The catch. This time Rison goes against his verbal counterpart, Lemuel Stinson, top of the screen. Play fake. Hello.
Goodbye.
Richard Dent.
You bet. Dent has so much savvy. Remember on the touchdown play, similar type of action by Miller on the bootleg, and Dent was fooled that time. Well, you're not going to fool an all-pro twice. Big sack. Number 9 on the season for Richard Dent.
Second this afternoon. 2, 3. He's out. That forces the Falcons on the tag team. Hampton and Perry with McMichael as the manager. Pass into the flat, caught by Cap Bozo. And he's got a big gain to the 45.5-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. 19 yards on that pickup.
And what happens here is the Falcons have to make something happen, so they're trying to blitz Jordan on the outside. That leaves Bozo without anybody covering him. Case has to come from the other side of the field as a weak safety and push him out of bounds, but not until after a big gain of 19.
3rd and 11. Dennis Gentry in the backfield behind Harbaugh. Anderson was split wide right, and Harbaugh gets a good block from Gentry. comes left and is knocked out of bounds, short of the first down at the 35. Andre Bruce, number 93, was giving chase. And Harbaugh is still down.
This is more than a bruised shoulder. I know that that preliminary report is always tends to be on the conservative side. Obviously, Harbaugh going in for x-rays or further medical attention. Gets an appreciative hand from these fans here.
Miller deep right side. And that's going to be picked off by Lemuel Stinson, who fulfills his prophecy. He promised 2 interceptions today, and the young man from Texas Tech just got his second.
Well, the young man who threw it, Chris Miller, is awfully upset because his receiver, James Milling, quit on the route. Miller was going to put it up in the air for Milling down in the corner of the end zone, and Stinson was there for the easy interception. Watch this ball. Miller expects his receiver Milling to keep running, but number 84 had stopped just previous to that spot there, and Stinson has the easy pick.
And 2 interceptions. Lemuel Stinson. Andre Rison was really funny. I mean, he was angry about it, but he said
some great things.
He said, I'm going to send him to arena football before it's over.
I was just wondering, I tell you, some arena football team is going to get a heck of a defensive back if that's the case.
And Lemuel Stinson introduced us all to a new verb, ganked, G-A-N-K-E-D. He said it means to take control of, as if I'm going to gank Rison and Sanders. Well, he has ganked them and guffawed them today.
And Daniel Webster just turned over in his grave.
7 to go in the ball game. Tomczak in the end zone, pumps once, goes deep right side. Has a man open, but the ball is picked off. Scott Case with perfect coverage gives Atlanta the turnaround interception. Backs off him. Left side picked off. Intercepted by Mark Carrier, who gets his 5th of the 1990 season. And Miller has no one to blame that time.
Well, as you said, Vern, this is all on Chris Miller, throwing late across the middle. Mark Carrier with a nice break on the ball in front of Floyd Dixon.
Mark Carrier has made quite a splash in his first season, Southern California.
He was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week, and what he has brought to this team is an amazing, mature rookie. I talked to Sean Gale about was Sean surprised at Mark Carey. He said, well, I really didn't know anything about him until they drafted him, and the reason I perked up is because he played the same position I did. This was before Sean Gale was moved to strong safety, so Carrier's made quite an impact.
On 4th and 10. Here they come, they block it. Their 3rd block of the season picked up on the near side. And lateral back to Roland Mitchell. Ken Tippins, number 52, with the block. And a flag is also down. 4.5 minutes. 1st and goal, Atlanta. Broussard. Touchdown, Atlanta. To 24-17. 1st and 10, and we'll see if they keep it on the ground. They will. Anderson for a couple, maybe 3 yards for the 23-yard line. And the clock goes under 4 minutes.
And Atlanta called.
The clock shows 3:59 to go in the ball game. 24-17. Play fake, Tomczak back. Pressured, rolls out. Has the first down. Chased by Jordan. Clock will continue to run. And a fresh set of downs as Van Horn and Jordan exchange pleasantries at their own 38-yard line. Muster for 1. Up. Whistle blew while Muster was still upright. It's a new version of the play. It's called in the grass for the running back. Atlanta. Seattle over Kansas City. 24-17 here. to Mustard. And now the Bears will do nothing but work on the clock, which shows 3:25 to go.
They still need, though, to pick, not having much time to work with it. This is a perfect offense to get back into a game like this.
Four-man rush, straight rush. Miller has it picked off. Intercepted by Bestie Jackson. No flags down. Jackson has a touchdown. The pressure from Richard Dent, the interception by Bestie Jackson.
Well, Dent is all over Miller. Miller has no chance of throwing this ball. Jackson comes up with the interception. Number 95 is great pressure by Dent. The ball goes end over end to Bestie Jackson. And this former Husky has himself a touchdown.
Javelina, the NFL Today produced by Eric Mann, directed by Duke Struck. Miller back on first down. Dances left, pulls up and goes deep for Sean Collins, who is wide open. And a flag is going to be thrown, apparently on David Tate.
Yeah, the side judge, Nate Jones, figured that Sean Collins had a shot at this ball. And I got to agree with him.
Defense, number 49, first down.
The first down comes with 29 seconds remaining in the ball game. A 48-yard penalty on David Tate.
One tomorrow.
Into the end zone, caught, touchdown. Andre Rison.
A 7-1 record in the NFC. They were hosting Atlanta today, and when you play the Falcons, there's no way you can stay quiet.
So I'm the biggest a man that he could get noticed by talking trash, so I guess he focused all of his attention on me when he really not going to guard me. He better be in there looking at film on Andre Rison or somebody like that.
That's right.
No class at all. No class at all. And, you know, I talked to him on the phone. You know, why call me? What you got to call me for? Just show up at the field.
And Deion and the Falcons did show up at Soldier Field. It wasn't exactly prime time. It's Kaz time. Glenn Kozlowski with the stick on the punt. And then Deion can't get the handle on this Maury Buford floater. Kaz again on the stop. Deion was quieted this afternoon. As for Lemuel Stinson on 1st and 10, Chris Miller looking for Michael Haynes. Pretty pick by Stinson. Comes back in the broad down at the 38-yard line eventually. Deion was not alone. Remember some of the troubles earlier this year on the corner for number 22, Charles Dimry.
Well, Charles Dimry had his hands full today. Here, Wendell Davis on the go down the sideline. Good coverage. Wendell Davis screens him off the ball, then gets the feet in. Here, Harbaugh throws a perfect pass. And look at the receiver stretch out to get the ball. Davis with the touchdown on Dimry again.
Couldn't blame Dimry there, though, Tommy, but the Bears lead at 17-3 against Glanville's Falcons. Wasn't a great day running the ball for Neil Anderson. Early on, fumbles it. Rick Bryant recovers, setting up an early Atlanta field goal. The Falcons actually had the lead. The numbers weren't there today, but when Neil is on,
you have to love this guy. He may be the MVP of this league right now as he dives into the end zone. Great instincts inside the 20-yard line.
Robert Lyles came off the bench to go at it with James Rouse. Jerry Glanville says, I'm not happy with you, Jim Tunney. Lyles, you're gone. And the Bears take over 3rd and 12. Harbaugh on a roll, looking deep for Davis. Boy, there's a combination that hooked today down to the 7-yard line. Davis catching 5 passes for $105. Watch Harbaugh. We know he's tough. That much we knew about him. Takes the shot from Marcus Cotton. Harbaugh left later with a shoulder injury, not on that play. That was Mustard diving in to give the Bears a 24-3 lead. You know, we also know Richard Dent, number 95, can still play a little.
Not good to get Richard excited about playing ball. Here he almost makes one of his patented interceptions at the line of scrimmage. Comes around Mike Ken for the sack, and then ignores the play-action pass and gets his second sack of the day.
Late in the fourth quarter, Chris Miller says, I've had enough of 95. Let me roll somewhere else. He goes long, and guess who? Lemuel Stinson, who was not faced by the Falcons at all, makes his second interception of the day.
Even after the game was over, Lemuel Stinson wanted to dish out some more verbal jabs at Deion Sanders. Instead, Lemuel had to settle to have his final say in the locker room.
Standing over on top of me saying, I don't know, he barely speak English, but I guess he was saying like something like, I'm for real, I can hurt you. He can't hurt me. I'm a grown man. But he's a little boy playing a grown man sport, though. He don't know he can get hurt.
The man who has to talk about another man who builds himself up is setting himself up for a big fall. And God hope it doesn't happen, because I'm all for the next man being successful, because this is a hard sport and a hard line of work. And I want every man to be successful and make it, because we have families to feed just like the fans out there do.
One verbal arrow that was shot from Atlanta this week was geared at the Bears receivers, calling them a sorry bunch. Wendell Davis made the Falcons secondary look sorry.
I knew, and the other receivers knew, that we have capable receivers. If we weren't capable of playing in the NFL, they wouldn't have drafted us. And, we knew in our hearts that we were capable of receiving, and we're not to prove it today.
Richard Dent led a Bears defense determined to make the Falcons eat their words.
Either way it goes, somebody got to come out and prove what they have been talking about. So, we were at home, and we hadn't been home in 3 weeks, so we want to come home and put on a good show.
This is a very special day for me because we did win. We won the championship belt buckle.
Nothing warms the soul more than the old Bear fight song. Even an Atlanta coach or two joined the party. In fact, the Falcons warmed up all of the Windy City by bringing with them a lot of that southern hot air.
How you doing?
Terrific.
Haven't had you in a long time, huh?
I remember today is the Armistice Day. This is the day the war ended.
Let's start a new one today. We're here to start a new war. World War III.
There's enough people starting a war. You don't need to start a war.
Game of the week right here, baby, right here. Windy City. Stage is set. It's cold. They're scared. We're encouraged. Gonna knock them out, baby. We can, we saw, we conquer. Let's kick some ass. Let's go, boy. Showtime for Wild Time.
This the man right here, baby.
Nationwide.
And we gonna win it for him today. Today. Yeah.
Atlanta boasted all week of carving up Chicago's so-called midget cornerbacks, of bashing the Bears in their own backyard, of running it up in Soldier Field. They talked a lot, but after a brief 3-0 lead, they couldn't walk their talk, as the Bears proved that actions speak louder than words.
Anderson slanting to the right. Anderson bouncing to the outside, gets by Jordan to the 5, to the end zone. Whoa!
All right, that's enough right there, D. That's enough, baby. Tighten up. Here we go.
Running backs are split. Harbaugh takes, sets up short, pop flies the right side of the end zone.
Oh!
Touchdown! What a catch! Sensational grab by Davis over the shoulder in the right corner of the end zone.
Brad Muster's 1-yard score made it 24-3 Chicago. The game was well in hand. Then it was time to teach a lesson. As for the allegedly sorry cornerback Lemuel Stinson, he picked off 2 of 4 interceptions.
Sets up now, rainbows the right side, and it's going to be intercepted by Stinson.
And Richard Dent had a few choice words for prime time.
Here we go. All right. We're going to kick it right there. Don't be scared. I'm going to show you what football all about. Here we go.
Unlike Atlanta, Dent backed up his words.
Jory Miller fakes the handoff. From Dent, and he's erased. Sacked by Richard Dent. Back at the 15-yard line.
Dent counted out the woozy visitors, then went face-to-face with Chris Miller one more time to force the play that humbled them for good.
Slot left, slot right in the red gun. Snap to Miller. Pumps once, now throws, but upside down. Get on the play. Down the right sideline. Come on, Jackson to the 10 of the 5.
He who laughs last laughs best.
Richard Dent played like a champion. He had both of the Bears' sacks and recovered a fumble that prevented Atlanta from breaking a 3-3 tie. Neil Anderson broke that tie with 4 minutes left in the half, breaking a Brian Jordan tackle and going 8 yards to make it 10-3. Lemuel Stinson gave the Bears another crack with his first interception of the afternoon and first by the Bears. The Bears went 63 yards on 8 plays. It was 3rd and goal at the 8 when Jim Harbaugh and Wendell Davis worked the fade pattern to perfection, giving the Bears a 17-3 lead at the half.
I can't remember the last time we've ever run that play. I don't know if we've ever run it since I've been here, but we work on it every day, and fortunate enough to hit it. Wendell made a great release and then caught the ball and had to dive for it, and it was a super catch by Wendell.
Davis caught 5 passes for 105 yards, including this 51-yarder that set up the touchdown that gave the Bears a 24-3 lead in the 3rd quarter. Jim Harbaugh passed for 195 yards and ran for 47, which is more than Anderson and Muster got combined.
Obviously, we'd like to throw or run the ball a little bit more than we did today, but, you know, we're going to take what everybody gives us. We're not going to pound our head against a brick wall. We're going to, hey, if they want to give us a pass, they want to stick so many guys and stop their run, we're going to throw the ball on them.
That last run of Harbaugh's put him out of the game with a bruised shoulder, but he says he'll be okay come Sunday. Lemuel Stinson had been predicting almost weekly that he'd get 2 interceptions in a game. Well, it finally happened in the 4th quarter. But it wasn't his teammates who mobbed him. It was the media.
Think you proved something today, Glenn?
I don't know. You tell me. Stinson won the battle. He had 2 interceptions, and he told them that as long as they kept throwing it his way, he was going to pick off 2, and he picked them off.
But it took an interception by Bestie Jackson with 1.5 minutes left to preserve the victory. Jackson returned it 45 yards for the touchdown, giving the Bears a 30-17 lead. And they held on to win it 30-24.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, here he comes. And then it just went open field, so I just took it and ran with it.
Let's take a look at Wendell's stats on the day. He really did put up some impressive numbers. 5 receptions, 105 yards. That, of course, is the best day of Wendell Davis's career. And as we take a look at these highlights, you can see that with the Falcons jamming the line of scrimmage, as Jimbo Culver told me, is like a brick wall. That did open the lanes, and Wendell really started to shine, helping you guys open up a 17-3 lead. Jim Harbaugh with another nice day and beautiful touch on this pass. And Wendell almost took it all the way.
People are starting to see now why we have so much respect for Wendell and have considered him one of the best receivers in the league. He just has been injured throughout the season and hasn't been able to show what he can do.
Well, he sure showed what he could do on that one of the prettiest catches of the season. And as you mentioned, it's his injuries which are really taking him out of the picture. Now with him back healthy, you guys got a very important weapon here.
Yeah, when you can take receivers like Ron Morris, Wendell Davis, and Dennis Gentry, you can rotate them in and out to find with receivers.
Well, on that play, he beat Charles Dimry, and Dimry was right on him. Harbaugh just threw it perfectly. Now, Harbaugh was very mobile today, a couple of key scrambles, and here's a 51-yard bomb to Wendell. I'm amazed he made this catch.
This is an amazing catch. He came down on his shoulder and injured his shoulder. We're not sure how bad that is on that particular play right there.
Well, the running lanes were pretty clogged, but this one opens up, fortunately, for your buddy Brad Muster from 1 yard out. And the Bears had a 24-3 lead at the half. But, you know, it must have been very frustrating for both of you guys, and it was for the offensive line, too, that you just couldn't get the running game going except for this.
It was tough because everything we tried, nothing seemed to work. We tried many different type plays, and we just couldn't get anything going. They had 9, 10 people on line of scrimmage. You can't account to block all of them.
Well, Brian Jordan almost picked you off here, and you could just tell by the burst of acceleration right about here. There's nothing going to keep you out of the end zone right there.
I'd say they've been tough sledding all day, and I really wanted to get that one. And I was able to get around the corner. The play didn't work as we had planned it, but 6 points is 6 points.
Well, you know, your leading rusher today was Harbaugh, amazingly enough. He had 47 yards on 6 carries, and his scrambling was very important. The fans loved the final outcome, although it got a little close at the end. But Jim did wind up leaving the game in the 4th quarter. He sustained an injury on this play. They're calling it a sprained sternum. I'm not exactly sure what that entails, but you always get nervous when your man takes a hit like this, when your quarterback does. Yeah. However, I managed to talk to him after the game, Neil, and he seemed pretty confident he's going to be all right. Coach Ditka seems pretty confident he'll be all right, so we've got to assume that Jim Harbaugh will be all right.
We rose to the challenge today. You know, we couldn't run the ball too well, so we started passing the ball, and the receivers knew what we had to do. So we got open. We beat the coverages that they was throwing at us,
And, you know, it's a credit to our receivers. We really did a great job today.
And you'll sleep with a smile tonight.
Sure will.
They're a good bunch of guys who will get better as time goes on, but they're good, and they're coming around. They make big plays.
I guess they can't go around saying you're a sorry bunch of wide receivers anymore. When are you guys going to get some respect?
Oh, I don't. It's kind of like Rodney Dangerfield. You never get it, but you know, it really doesn't phase us one bit at wide receivers. You know, these guys can say what they want. We know we can play, and right now we've been playing pretty well. Wendell Davis had a great game today, and that just goes to show you that you can't, if you stop one, you can't stop the other. And right now we're playing well, and they can keep talking as long as they want.
Well, I know you're very respectful of the achievements. The wide receivers really are getting undersold all season long.
Very much so, because we're known for running the ball so well. They don't get the respect they deserve. We don't throw to them 10 times a game as some people throw to their receivers. So it's hard to really get in the stat sheet and be among the leaders. But in our organization, we know what those guys can do.
Well, it's interesting. Even now, the Bears are the only team in the NFL with more yards on the ground than through the air. But you've got the balanced attack, and nobody can argue with that.
Right. Now we're starting to balance things out, and people have to respect our passing game along with the running game. And we're eating up the clock. We're leading the league in that category, and that's because we run the ball so effectively. And that can get us where we want to be at the end of the season.
Well, Neil, when we come back, we're going to take a closer look at all the trash that was being tossed around before, during, and after today's game. Neon Deion wound up eating his words, and Lem Stimson backed up his tough talk with 2 interceptions. But some of the Bear veterans say Lemuel's tongue-wagging days may be over. That story when we come back. Well, late last week, Neon Deion Sanders and the Bears' Lemuel Stinson enlivened an otherwise dull game week by exchanging some barbs over the phone and through the media. Obviously, Stinson and his fellow Bears got the last laugh, as Mark Shinosky reports.
At high noon today, the time for talking trash was over as the Bears and Falcons went to war at Soldier Field. Lemuel Stinson proved that actions do speak louder than words, picking off a pair of Chris Miller passes to easily outshine Neon Deion Sanders.
We baited him into it, so, you know, they shot for it. We kept baiting him the whole game. He looked back, he said, I guess he kept telling Coach, I'm hoping. And we're looking at him the whole time. I was waiting for him to throw it.
While Stinson was enjoying another big game, Sanders was pretty much a non-factor as he struggled just to handle kicks all afternoon. But the guy who calls himself Prime Time didn't shy away from the spotlight afterwards.
When I walk on the field, I think the players on the other field, players on the other team respect me, and I respect them also. People don't talk to me. You know, they're happy when they tackle me and enable me to do my thing, but it's no ton going on. Only one guy on their team who falls in that category.
Andre Rison was also involved in the war of words this week, criticizing Stinson and the Bears receivers. Rison caught a consolation touchdown late in the game and said he really doesn't have any feud with Stinson.
Words always fire up a player, but, you know, I talked to the guy after the game, and, you know, he said he didn't make those particular comments about pertaining to me, but he had mentioned them about Deion, you know, but I know Deion was always fired up, and I know I was fired up, too.
He's cool. He said good play. And, you know, all that talking just going on just to get it hyped up for the game. But, you know, I think Deion took it a little bit different.
Yeah. So Deion's still in no class?
No class at all.
And before leaving town, Neon Deion even got a shot in on the Chicago fans. And that's pretty ironic, considering the White Sox are one of the teams trying to sign Sanders to a baseball contract.
They're the same people who is a bandwagon type fan. Fans that when you do well, they're cheering. When you do bad, they're booing. And I didn't do bad. We lost. So, you know, they're a bunch of bandwagon fans. Hell, if Chicago wasn't winning, they'd be at home right now in front of the fireplace.
Somehow you get the feeling we won't be seeing Neon Deion in White Sox pinstripes. But then again, Jeff Torborg and company are probably better off without him. Mark Shinosky for Sports Final.
And by the way, for the record, it's Lemuel Stinson, not Lemuel. And we asked him directly point back. Now, you say you know Rison and Neon Deion pretty well, and they're all talk, right?
All talk, no action. But I talked to Deion after the game, and he said, Neil, I was just trying to get a rise out of the guy. And he did it. Stintz talked, but I enjoyed it. It reminded me when I was in Florida. A lot of conversation going on, but he backed it up.
Well, that's right. That's exactly what Lem did. He doesn't like to be called Lem either. Lemuel did back up all his talk with action. So far, he's done that all season long. But a lot of the older and wiser Bears say it's time for Lemuel to shut up.
Just remember that, you know, once you start something, chances are you're going to have to keep it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the gunfire, you know.
Yeah.
You want to quit sometimes, but you just can't. Everybody wants to take it on. What do you have to say now? But he's a good football player. He's a great kid, and I'm sure he'll learn just like everybody else.
We're going to have to give a real quick education on community relations with Lemuel this week. Yeah, that's good and fine, and I'm glad that he, you know, he's been able to respond to it, but, you know, it's tough enough to make things happen in this league without helping the other team by getting them up, so.
Well, let's look at another aspect of this game now, Neil. Richard Dent played an absolutely unbelievable game, an incredible sequence. He recovered a fumble. He batted down a Chris Miller pass. As you saw late in the game, he batted down a pass and deflected it right to Vesty Jackson for a touchdown. Dent was all over the place. He'll probably be named Defensive Player of the Week, but he has higher goals.
Go for bigger strides than that. Is more than anything to me is getting to the Super Bowl. I'm not getting any younger, I'm getting older, so I want to try to get there at least a couple more times before it's all over.
I thought Richard Dent played his butt off. I mean, I don't know that anybody could have played much harder than Richard played for us today, and he was probably as big a factor as we had early in the game, and even with the tip pass, it was a key play, hustling from side to the field to get the screen passes, so he played very well.
He sure did. I know Derek Thomas had 7 sacks today for Kansas City on Lawrence Taylor. My opinion, maybe you share it, Richard Dent is the NFL's Player of the Year right now.
So far, he's got to be on defense for what he's done for this team and the way he's handled himself. Richard, he still wasn't happy after the game with his performance. A couple of the balls he batted down, he was trying to explain to me how he could have caught them, you know. So, but he's having a phenomenal year so far.
Yes, he sure is. And as a matter of